Dear student, welcome back again in our today's session. So, as you can see that today we are going to discuss about a very important topic, research process. In previous lecture, we have already discussed about the meaning of research, importance of research, and the need of research. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the research process in detail. So let's discuss about the research process. So basically, we talk about the research process. The process of research involves several steps that help you conduct a thorough and a systematic investigation. So here you can see that the steps of research process, which is given below. The first one is formulating the research problem, and the second one is extensive literature survey, and the third one is developing the research hypothesis, and the next one is preparing the research design, and the next one is determining the research design, and the next one is collecting the research data, and the next one is analysis of data, and the next one is, as you can see, that hypothesis testing, and the next one is generalization and interpretation, and the last one is preparing of the report or presentation of the result. So these are the steps of research process. So let's discuss about these steps in detail. So as you can see that the first one is formulation of research problem. That means at the very outset, the researcher must decide the general area of interest or aspect of a subject matter that he would like to inquire into, and then research problem should be formulated. That means formulating a research problem is a foundation of the research process. It involves identifying a problem or a topic you want to investigate and asking a specific focused questions. A good research question should be relevant, original, and significant, and it should guide the entire research process. To formulate a research question, you need to conduct preliminary research, consult with experts, and consider the practical implications of your study. A well-crafted research problem, research question should be clear, concise, and providing a roadmap of your investigation, of your research. So the first step was formulation of research problem. Now, the second step is extensive literature survey. Once the problem is formulated, the researcher should undertake extensive literature survey connected with the problem. For this purpose, the abstracting and indexing journal and published or unpublished bibliographies, references are the first place to go to the academic journals, conferences, proceedings, government reports, books, etc. must be tapped depending on the nature of the problem. That means, like, if we talk about the extensive literature survey. So conducting the background research involves gathering information and context about your research topic. This step helps you to understand the research landscape, identifying the gaps in existing knowledge, and develop a deeper understanding of the research question. Background research involves reading existing literature, articles, and studies related to your topic, to your problem, taking notes and organizing and synthesizing the information. These steps help you identifying the key concepts, theories, and methodologies relevant to your study. So the second step was extensive literature survey. After the extensive literature survey, the third step is development of hypothesis. So after extensive literature survey, researchers should state in clear terms the working hypothesis or hypothesis. If we talk about the working hypothesis is the tentative assumptions made in order to draw out and test its logical or empirical consequences. It is a very important, or it provides the focal point for research. So after extensive literature survey, developing a research hypothesis involves making an educated guesses about the outcome of your study. Based on your background, research, and existing knowledge, you formulate a statement that predicts that the relationship between the variables or the outcome of your investigation, of your research. A good research hypothesis should be testable, measurable, and flexible, allowing you to design a study that can prove or disprove it. Your hypothesis should be as specific, concise, and clear and related to your research, providing a direction of your data collection and analysis. So, development of hypothesis was the third step in the research process. Now, the next step is preparing the research design. So, after framing hypothesis, we have to prepare a research design. We have to state the conceptual structure within which research would be conducted. The preparation of such a design facilitates research to be as efficient as possible. So, under this step, you need to select a research design. What type of research design you are going to conduct. Now, the next one is determining sample design. Under this step, a sample design is a definite plan determined before any data is actually collected for obtaining a sample from a given population. So we involve a great deal of time, money, and energy. So it is not possible in practice under many circumstances. Sample design can be either probability or non-probability. With probability samples, each element has a known probability or be included in the sample. But the non-probability samples do not allow the researchers to determine this probability. So, if we talk about the determining sample design, after this step, the next step is collecting the data. There are several ways of collecting the appropriate data which differ considerably in context of cost, time, and other resources. At the disposal of the researcher, primary data can be collected either through experiment or through survey. In case of survey, data can be collected by any one of more of following: by observation, through personal interviews, through the telephonic interviews, by mailing of questionnaires, through schedules. So if we talk about the collecting of data, it's a very important step. Collecting the data involves the gathering the information through your chosen methods. Ensure that your data collection methods are systematic and consistent, minimizing errors and bias. Collect data in a way that ensures quality, accuracy, and completeness, and document and organize the data for analysis. Consider the ethical implications of data collection, ensuring that participants are informed and protected. So after collecting the data, the next step is analysis of data. The analysis of data requires a number of closely related operations such as establishment of categories, the applications of these categories of raw data through coding, tabulations, and then drawing statistical analysis work after tabulation is generally based on the computer of various percentages, coefficients, etc. by applying various well-defined statistical formulation. So if we talk about the analysis of data, analyzing the data involves the examining and interpreting the data to draw the conclusions by using statistical method, data visualization, or thematic analysis to identify the patterns, trends, and relationship in your data. Ensure that your data analysis is systematic and transparent, allowing others to replicate your findings. Consider the limitations of your data and analysis, acknowledge potential biasness and errors. After analysis of data, the next step is hypothesis testing. This is the most important step. So after analyzing the data, the researcher is in a position to test the hypothesis, if any, he had formulated earlier. Do the facts support the hypothesis, or they happen to be a other form? This is a very usual question, which is to be answered by applying various tests like t-test, f-test, chi-square test, ANOVA test, etc. F-tests have been developed by statisticians for the purpose. Hypothesis testing will result in either accepting the hypothesis or in rejecting it. If the researcher had no hypothesis to start with, generalization and established on the basis of data may be stated. Now, after the hypothesis testing, the next one is generalization and interpretation. So, if a hypothesis is tested and upheld several times, it may be possible for the researcher to arrive at generalization, to build a theory in a conceptual manner. As a matter of fact, the real value of research lies in its ability to arrive at a certain generalization. It's a very important step in a research process. You have to generalize and interpret your research, your findings. If the researchers had no hypothesis to start with, he might to seek to explain his finding on the basis of some theory. It's known as interpretation. After generalization and interpretation, the next step is preparation of the report or the thesis. This is the last step of research process and it's a very important step. So finally, the researcher has to prepare the report of what has been done by him. The layout of the report should be as follows, like first, the preliminary pages, the main text, and the end matter. The preliminary pages carry title, acknowledgement, and forward and then index. And the main text of the report should have an introduction, review of literature, and methodology. And the last index should be mentioned in the report or the thesis. Thank you.